last video was kind of on the stress response system and the physical stresses and the emotional stresses. Now I'm going to talk a little more specifics to help you understand what's going on. I'm going to use my little Lego guy here who has no hair and one hand, and he's kind of already at a loss. And I've got my T-Rex here. So let's talk about the physical stresses. So when we are emotionally regulated, but then when there's a stress, first we think about, can I do something about this? That is the hyper-arousal. That's the fight or flight. The T-Rex is this far away, I can still run away. There's no way I'm gonna fight this thing, right? But I think I can run away from them and be safe, okay? So that's hyper, I think I can do something about it, and that's the run, the fight, the flight, or the fight, okay? But then if the stress is so close to me and I can't do anything about it, then I go into the fainting. That's when I go into the hypo-arousal. I shut down. And it makes sense from a physical threat standpoint because I'm trying to just survive. Shutting down gives me the best chance of surviving because if he rips my arm off, if I've shut down, my blood flow has really slowed down, I might still be able to survive this, okay? So emotional regulation, think I can do something about it, fight or flight, hyper, I can't do anything about it, shutting down, hypo to survive. Now, this is important for the parents who are like, my kid shuts down, then he explodes. What's up with that? As the dinosaur T-Rex, as he starts to move back off, okay, the threat is dissipating, right? It's still there. He's still here. The threat is still there, but it's dissipated. It's not here anymore. It's not overwhelming. It's now over here. It's dissipated, okay? Now I think, okay, I can do something about this. Threat's still there. I can do something about this. Now I'm going to run away. Okay, so from hypo, we always go back into hyper-arousal before we get back into emotional regulation. Because the hypo is when it's so overwhelming, there's nothing I can do about it. The hyper is when I think I can do something about it. So if your kid shuts down completely, that's worse than the hyper because it's saying they don't think they can do anything about it. And the kids who go into hypo, when they start getting better, they go into the hyper because now they think they can do something about it. So your kid goes from shutting down back to, oh, there's something I can do about it. I can fight, I can scream, I can yell, right? That's why kids go from, that's why we go from hypo into hyper. We go from shutting down to exploding simply because you have to do it that way. You go from emotional regulation, hyper, I can do something about this. No, I can't. Hypo, I'm shutting down. Threat starts to dissipate, hyper, oh, I can do something about this, emotional regulation, okay? You will never go from hypo, completely shut down, to emotional regulation because the threat is still there. It's dissipated enough to where you can actually now do something about it, and that is a good thing.